everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigation 2. We have found out that John Marsh is the son of the president, which I know I said I've been through this game, but let me tell you, it's been a long time since I actually watched the game, and certain details I've kind of missed. So yeah, that totally just blew my mind, and I totally didn't see that coming. So let us continue on as to Courtney now explaining why she met with the president 2 days ago, which now makes complete sense. The secret meeting from 2 nights ago. I wanted to tell him about Amy's death, and that you were alive and well. But I see. That's why you couldn't tell us your reasons for meeting with the president until now.
I get it. She would have had to reveal his connection with John.
I brought a bouquet of lion lilies, so that he would understand I truly did know about Amy. Those flowers are a dear memory to the president and Amy. The first present she received from the president was a bouquet of lion lilies. But now, even as he has passed away, if only he were still alive, perhaps I could have introduced him to John. Oh, Shifu! I'm sorry to interrupt this atmosphere, but there's something I need to say. Oh god, this guy's been waiting for a while. He's been waiting for a video. Oh, what is it now? Can't this wait? Well, actually, there's one last item that's been delivered here from Zhang Fa. I have here the president's will. What? The president's will. My old man received a great number of special medals from the president himself. As a token of his trust, the president left his will in the protection of the Lang clan. Those medals and that will, they were the pride of our clan, our family treasures, so to speak. Well, yeah, since he's dead now, I guess we need it. This is... Ancient Lang, does that will have something to do with the current case? You bet it does. It says here, I hereby acknowledge John Marsh as my own son. Hold it. What? John's name is in the president's will. Are you certain that will was written by the president? Yeah, he entrusted it to the Lang clan even before the SS5 Incident took place. They'll have to appraise it back home, but by the name of the Lang clan, this is the real deal. Dijuan Huang was the president of an entire nation. The existence of his son would have caused considerable controversy. However, he left behind a will just in case. This makes it doubly sure. I still can't believe it myself, but there's no room for doubt. John Marsh, you are the son of Dijuan Huang, president of Zhang Fa. You own a nation! Congratulations! John! John. Oh shit. To be continued? Already? But we only just started! No, we're not saving just in case my recording decides to be shit. Ooh. Damn. John. So that guy was my dad. Found out about his own birth so suddenly. And furthermore, his newfound father is no longer in this world. I'd always been searching for my dad. John. I get it, alright? He's the president. I know it's a complicated situation. But we even met face to face during the filming. So then, why? Why didn't he tell me who he really was? I'm sorry, John. Mom, you don't need to apologize. No matter how you look at it, it's all my fault. Yesterday I broke my promise with you and didn't even notice the fire on the roof. So I destroyed everything. I crushed it all. My dad, and those flowers that my mom carefully grew. John, please, for now, just don't think about anything. Just stay like this for a little while. Just for a little while,
okay?
Oh. The bond between a parent and a child. That's the meaning behind lion lilies. I know it's not my style, but that flower is from Zhangfa. However, we have no means of protecting that bond. Agent Lang, allow me to say this. The case won't be solved by sentimentality alone. Therefore, shouldn't we do all that we can to solve it? Yeah, you're right. The recreation of the past has finished. Were your father's deductions correct? My old man took his deductions to the grave. He never told anyone about them. So, who knows if they were right or not? In that case, what about your own deductions? I would like to hear what you think happened based on the recreation, in order for us to get closer to the truth 12 years ago. Yeah, I was thinking it's about time. I could see it now. My old man's back, real close. I'll catch up to him for sure. To the truth that my old man uncovered. Let's do it! There's no mistake that the president went to the orphanage. The stuffed toy is proof of that. He was planning to meet with Amy Marsh. However, the president was kidnapped, and Cameron just happened to witness it. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. Afterwards, the body was moved to the flower beds, and the fake photo was taken. Pretty solid. Was that what really happened 12 years ago? Where about Sir Han Dogen in the whole situation? However, there's one thing I still don't get. Something you don't get. It's this. Why do they need to take a fake photo? Why would they go through all that trouble and even make the president take part in the photo? That's true. However, the answer to that riddle must lie somewhere within. Once we get past the layers upon layers of deductions, we shall surely reach it. Yeah, that's right. I like to hear your deductions as well. Well, let's do it then. Rebuttal! We're pressing on everything first. Agent Lang, I'd like to verify a few things that may have seemed obvious at first glance. Are we certain that the president actually went to the orphanage? Okay, I get it. You're saying you want proof.
Everyone's always demanding proof from Mr. Edgeworth, after all.
You didn't have to tell him that. You mean this stuffed animal? The one with the recording device? That's right. Inside that toy was a recording from John's birth mother, Amy Marsh. Indeed. She said that she would meet with him at midnight.
Wow, you two are perfectly in sync. The truth is becoming clear, like you're peeling off the layers of a scallion.
Okay, a scallion doesn't have anything on the inside. Please don't make such foreboding analogies. How about an onion?
The truth is becoming clear, like you're peeling off the skin of a wolf.
Can you stop making those foreboding analogies? Let's get back on track. Why would you skin a wolf? I mean, we went from scallions to a wolf. Like, really? I'd also like to verify the details of this point as much as possible. Mr. Cameron witnessed the president and his kidnapper near the orphanage.
And Mr. Cameron was standing by the snowman near the road.
Then the murderer picked up a brick, snuck up on him from behind, and wham!
Ah!
Okay, we are simply verifying what actually transpired. There's no need to be scared.
That was so intense! Half the details of this case just vanished from my brain. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Lang, let's carefully verify all the facts of this case.
Yeesh. Well, if you're gonna listen, I'll talk as much as you want. These, pressing statements are kind of special. If you hadn't been there, you say. That's an interesting theory. Care to explain in more detail? It's simple. Cameron was killed because he saw the kidnapping. The kidnapping itself was a success. If he had been there, no blood would have been spilled. No blood would have been spilled.
You make it sound like it was his own fault for being there.
Okay, that's not it. What Agent Lang's trying to say is, simply besides Mr. Cameron, there were no other casualties at the crime scene.
Oh, Oh, was that all? Of course, that's obvious. The president was kidnapped, but once the ransom money was paid, he was returned safe and sound.
That sounds like an obvious point. However, something about it bothers me. Yeah, what about that other piece of blood, which I'm pretty sure is probably the president? But then it's like, how do you have a dead president then and have a dead president now? I may need to reevaluate the evidence once more. You done explaining things to your assistant? I still have one last thing to confirm. That's also an important point. I'd like to take another good clean look at the information. Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's start with what Cameron saw before he was murdered. Cameron witnessed the president and the kidnapper in front of the orphanage. However, the culprit wanted to conceal the connection between the incident and the orphanage. That's right. That's why Cameron's original roll of film was disposed of. And a fake photo was taken of them standing outside the grounds of the orphanage. Yes, and Cameron's body was moved to match the photo. Ugh. It's finally becoming clear. The secret that was buried in the snow for 12 years.
Is this the truth of the SS5 incident? Mr. Edgeworth, what's the matter?
There is still something hidden behind this case.
Huh? What do you mean?
There is a piece of evidence that cannot be explained by Agent Lang's theory. As long as there's a contradiction, we'll have to present it in order to advance our reasoning. Alright, I think we pressed everything, so now we're going to present the mysterious bloodstain. At which statement? Had been there, probably would have been just... Okay, no murder. Okay, well... Where's that bloodstain?
Objection!
If the eyewitness Cameron had not been there, no murder would have taken place. Is that really the case? The criminal's goal was only to kidnap the president. If there were no witnesses, there would have been no need to commit murder, right? And what if Cameron wasn't the only one who was murdered? There was a large bloodstain near the flower beds, however, Cameron was murdered. Near the snowman. Ergo, this bloodstain could not have belonged to Cameron. Someone else's blood was spilled, and quite a vast amount at that. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any idea what you're saying? I do. It's hard to believe. However, that is what the evidence indicates. On that night, 12 years ago, there were 2 murders. Are you saying that the other murder was covered up? Just who the heck could have been killed? A murder that was cleverly concealed. All traces of it were erased, and the incident itself was completely deleted from the case files. However, there's one piece of evidence that still remains intact after 12 years. This piece of evidence shows that something happened that night. The drawing? The drawing.
Take that!
The other murder incident was buried in the dark by Blaze the Best. However, there is still one piece of evidence that remains. Agent Lang, it survived by your father's hands. My old man, you say? Please recall. There was one more thing that was hidden along with the traces of the murder. And that is the existence of the boy who caused the fire. Why did Blaze make the boy disappear? It's because he saw something that he wasn't supposed to see.
What was that thing he wasn't supposed to see?
Everything is drawn in this picture. This drawing my old man had. The person drawn on the right is most likely the president. The Mozilla doll is also drawn near him. And the person standing opposite of him is... Sir Han Dogen.
Take that!
A man with a knife and a large black dog. He is none other than Sir Han Dogen.
What? The assassin?
Why would an assassin appear before a president? The answer is clear. Indeed, what occurred that night on the orphanage grounds 12 years ago was not a kidnapping. It was a presidential assassination. Oh!
Then Miss Roland and Mr. Blaze were...
Yes, the two were likely partners in crime. One furnished the orphanage to use as the scene of the incident, and the other covered up the young boy's testimony. It's likely that Mr. Cameron was murdered because he witnessed the assassination himself. After all, the kidnapping never actually happened.
Stop messing around! You're saying that the president was assassinated 12 years ago? We just found his body today! He's been alive up until now! That's right! I mean, we met him ourselves!
If the president was assassinated 12 years ago, and the president's body was found today, that would imply there were two presidents.
Yeah, and that can't be right!
Are you sure about that? There is the possibility that there were two presidents. That's right. Up until now, I've been getting a strange feeling from the president.
Even so, I still respect the man. Zhangfa is a small country, but he carried the nation with his strength.
The image of President Huang that Agent Lang described was not the president we saw in the first case. You're wrong, He revealed his true form. Differs far too greatly from the President Huang we knew. It's as if they were two entirely different people. If there were, in fact, two Zhangfa presidents, exactly how would such a scenario be possible? What would make the existence of two presidents possible? One of them was a body double. This is happening! This is really happening! If we were to assume that one of them was a body double, wouldn't it be possible then?
A body double?
President Huang possessed immense power and authority in Zhangfa. I'm sure there were those who envied his position and made attempts on his life. Yes, just as he was attacked a few days ago at Gourd Lake.
It's true, there were those who sought Huang's life from time to time, but I can't easily believe there were two presidents. At least not without any evidence.
Do I have evidence that proves there were two presidents? Might be in the incident files. Yes.
Take that!
Has Agent Lang not noticed this contradiction? Or has he noticed it but can't admit it?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't shout something out only to suddenly clam up.
According to the recording on the doll, the presidents visited the orphanage at midnight. However, that should not have been possible.
Huh? Why is that?
Why? Because at the time, the president should have been at the embassy. He was together with Agent Lang's father. Oh! So, Agent Lang, you really did notice. He was in two places at the same time, ergo there must have been two presidents.
Oh! Then, which of the two was the real president on that day 12 years ago?
Most likely the one who died.
Who? Who contracted Dogen to murder Huang?
In order to learn that first, we must have a look at the evidence that we proved was false earlier. And the piece of evidence we know to be false is Cameron's camera? As soon as I find it. No, not the photo. Or maybe it is the photo. Whoops. Ah! I'm just gonna skim through this. Why the heck not? Okay.
Take that!
The photo taken with Cameron's camera was taken after he was murdered. He was murdered because he witnessed the presidential assassination. In other words, the photo must have been taken following the assassination. Given that, who is the president pictured in the fake photo? We must consider him to be the body double.
In other words, the body double had the real president murdered and then took his place.
Patricia, Roland, and Blaze must have cooperated in that plan. But for what reason?
Hold it! Huang's body was never found! Just where could it have disappeared to?
The answer to that is already quite apparent. This is where the real president's body was. Oh shit, he's been buried underneath those footprints! That's gotta be it!
Take that!
Last night, there was something Blaze had to unearth with his own two hands. That item was not the ransom. It was something far more important.
So Blaze unburied
the real president's body. The possibility is quite high.
What you say?
The bones from the body buried 12 years ago would have still remained. According to Mr. Powers, construction was to begin soon at this lot. That was the deadline, both for the movie and the retrieval of the body.
Because they would have found the body when they started the construction.
Agent Lang, let us search the footprints that Blaze dug up.
Yeah. If the body was buried there, there'd be traces of it. Hey, somebody call forensics.
I have the results of the search. We found traces in the dirt that suggest a body was buried here.
So it was Huang after all.
We also recovered the skeletal remains that Blaze the Best dug up. They were in his home. Ew! Oh god, ew. I didn't need that mental image. In addition to the bone structure, the dental records and the bone fractures all match up. We can confirm that it was indeed President Huang. So the real President Huang was indeed killed 12 years ago. The SS5 incident was a murder. Jesus frick, this got really dark.
So the SS5 incident was actually a murder incident. But there's so much information. It's way too confusing.
Indeed, let us take this opportunity to review the details of the case.
First, the real president came to the orphanage, right?
12 years ago, the true President Huang visited the orphanage in order to meet his son. The footsteps in the snow that we thought belonged to Mr. Cameron were most likely made by the president at the time. President Huang was supposed to meet his son here. However, the one who actually showed up was the assassin, Sir Han Dogen.
He came here to meet his son, but was murdered instead. How horrible.
A man like Dogen shows no mercy. And after that, the second tragedy occurred.
You mean Mr. Cameron's murder?
Indeed, Mr. Cameron saw the decisive moment. After the real president was killed by Dogen, his body was carried to the rear courtyard by the team of kidnappers. Mr. Cameron must have witnessed that moment from the orphanage entrance. Although he himself believed that he had actually witnessed a kidnapping. Furthermore, by this time,
the body double who had come to meet up with Blaze and Mr. Roland was already standing behind Mr. Cameron.
And then the witness to the incident, Mr. Cameron,
was killed by the body double. So, was Mr. Cameron's corpse also carried by the body double?
Yes, that seems likely.
But there wasn't anything at the crime scene that looked like the body double's footprints.
I've already figured out how we accomplished that. There is a piece of evidence that would have made it possible. What did the body double use to move the body without leaving any footprints? The victim's shoes. This is almost certainly how the body double carried Mr. Cameron's corpse. After Mr. Cameron was killed, the president's body double carried him into the middle of the garden. I suspect the body double was wearing the same shoes as the real president at the time, if he made sure to step precisely on top of the footprints left by the real president.
Since the shoes were the same, there would only be one set of footprints left behind in the snow. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the SS5 incident now. But there's still one thing I don't get.
What's that?
Why did they need to stage the abduction?
Because Mr. Cameron witnessed the incident. He saw the president at the orphanage. He left behind witness testimony on Miss Crane's answering machine. Even Blaze couldn't make that disappear. Ergo, the body double needed a reason for the president to have been at the orphanage.
And that's why they prepared the fake kidnapping charade.
The people in the fake photo are the body double and most likely Patricia Rowland.
The person in the coat is Miss Rowland? What makes you say that?
The two would have to leave the orphanage in order to take the picture. Just like when he moved the body, the double used the real president's footprints.
So the second set of footprints must belong to the person in the coat.
Indeed, we originally believed that those footprints belonged to Cameron's killer. They were size 7 footprints, too small for Blaze's feet. Thus, we can presume that the person playing the part of the kidnapper was Patricia Rowland. Are you saying all women have small feet? Hidden in the shadow of the presidential's kidnapping was the presidential assassination.
I see. So that's why my old man.
Why he what?
The old man must have realized that a murder had taken place. After all, he had the kid's drawing.
However, that picture was never presented as evidence. Your father likely took it from the young witness during the investigation and hid it.
He had to have known that Huang was dead. But what if he had revealed that back then?
Reveal the death of the president, the backbone of Zhang Fa. It would have caused chaos.
And that's why my old man took the secret to his grave. He even took the blame for the kidnapping, knowing that would be the fall of the House of Lang.
So this is the truth that Ancient Lang's father hid 12 years ago.
And now it's all become clear.
A little too late now.
Is that really the case, I wonder?
What?
Who's there?
Oh! That bell, it's... Oh shit! Yo, dude! Hi! You sure you should be here with a bunch of, like, cops?
Sir Han Dogen. You! Why are you here?
How can you just brazenly show up here? Who do you think you are, pal?
I found the conversation most intriguing and I just, well...
Are you feeling nostalgic about an old murder of yours?
You're the one who killed Huang. Nostalgia? I think not. You were speaking about the person I'm searching for.
You're searching for someone.
I escaped from prison in order to meet with a young acolyte. The one who wore the red raincoat.
The red raincoat?
What? Who is this person? I suspect that it's the same person as the mastermind you are searching for.
Someone you've been searching for. The one in the red hood. The red hood.
Don't they seem surprised, Anubis? Yes, they are, my boy. 12 years ago, this young acolyte saved my life.
Dogen's savior.
Certainly, it was I who killed President Huang. However, my life was also targeted on that day. The body double, Blaze, and Patricia all sought to seal my lips. Had I not been reunited with the young acolyte back then, I would have been in danger. But alas, even to this day, I do not know what has become of the young acolyte.
Of course they would turn on Sir Han Dogen. So your client was indeed the body double, who was the main perpetrator of the crime.
It was a long time ago, but I remember his words even now.
There have been countless attempts on my life. Not just once or twice. Countless! And yet, why must I be the only one to face the danger? When I stand before the people, I garner the same respect as the president does. Tell me, just what is the difference between him and me? Well, you're a big fucking coward, that's what you are.
The difference was great. While the voice and style of speech may be the same, one can mimic the body, but the heart cannot be reproduced.
I suppose his own weaknesses cost him in his quest to become a leader. Jealousy. Now that Rook's gone, I'm in charge. I'm not so sure if you're as capable as Rook was.
Oh, what are you saying? I'm totally the leader now.
These assassins saw through them both. Perhaps the king and his knight were not so different after all. Irony!
The double believed that the president's only weakness was a woman called Amy. To find the woman, he needed the assistance of someone from this country.
So he joined forces with Blaze.
After determining her whereabouts, he simply waited for the right opportunity. That chance came with the meeting at the orphanage. Indeed, the director of the orphanage was bribed and brought in as an accomplice.
And we are now out of time, so we're going to be continuing this story in the next video. So I'll see you guys then.